3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Chicken with the DRTcast episode number 1 on July 4th, Independence Day 2014. Thank you very much for joining us for this Friday evening, the very first recording of this podcast. And some of these people you should probably know, which we'll get to that here in a little bit. But if you haven't done so already, submit your questions over to the official DRT email at duelistoftheroundtable@gmail.com. You should be able to see the link available on the official post for the Facebook page. So just get those questions in, and we will get to those right before we end the entire podcast. So let's go ahead around the table. I get it, because it's like a play on word, you know. But let's go ahead and start off with probably the founder of Duels of the Round Table, who goes by the name of Caleb, but you better know him as CyberKnight8610.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you're actually coming in pretty well, Cyber.
Okay, I muted it for just a second because all the fireworks. Hello, everyone. I don't know what all I should say, really.
Well, we'll get to that part in a sec, but the other person in the call right now is Dave, or pretty sure he has like a different name other than just David.
Actually, Dave's pretty good. Dave's in my username, so that'll work.
The other person, we're trying to get this situation where, oh, never mind, he already left the call, so I think he dropped because it's just not working for him.
Shit.
But it was Yakumo, but we'll probably try to attempt to get him in along with another buddy of ours who was supposed to be in tonight's recording, but unfortunately due to some computer problems, he will... Oh, wait a minute, Yakumo's actually back in the call, so... Yakumo's actually having problems right now himself because he is currently on his phone, and we're going to try...
Jesus!
Work.
Oh my god! Run! Run! Oh my god!
I'm alive, bitches!
Okay, this is, it's Independence Day and fireworks are going off and dogs are barking. You can easily tell that this is 4th of July.
I bring the storm, bitches! I bring the rain!
Okay, anyways, that's Yakumo that just made that noise. So, and
oh my god.
There's random dogs barking as well. But we're gonna go ahead and pretty much get started with the first little bit of the evening, which is about the admins, which would pretty much be about us. So for some that don't know anything, new about us other than just, we're admins that pretty much make sure that the Facebook page is run pretty much in order and not in true utter chaos. We're just going to go ahead and go across the room and pretty much just let everybody, describe themselves as something.
We're in a room?
Well, a table. I don't know what kind of place we're in right now.
We're in a confined space. We'll just say that.
Maybe this becomes popular enough. Somebody will animate our sessions, and then we'll know where we are.
Cyber,
you're the famous one. Hook us up.
Oh, of course. I know all kinds of animators and things. Don't worry, I'll contact Disney after this.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Thank God. If you need funding, I know Batman.
Well, I could probably try to get Kerberfer to maybe do something, but he's been busy with so many projects, but I'll have to, talk to him later.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead, Cyber, go with you first.
We might as well
Do what?
I'm supposed to explain what I do on the group or what?
Yeah, on the group, and a little bit about yourself other than just the usual.
Well, I guess I'm the main admin since I made the group, and I came up with that idea for the name and stuff, and of course I make Yu-Gi-Oh videos on YouTube. And also, do what?
He also owns the whole thing, Just...
Yeah, I'm the head knight.
Also, doesn't give us free T-shirts.
Oh, of course, that costs me.
T-shirts. Doesn't the shirts.
Allows you to live. Don't forget that one.
Oh,
I would like my vacation.
There seems to be a mutiny.
Also, just for those who don't know, Cyber does actually give terrible healthcare plans in the future. So if you decide to be an admin, prepare to get ripped off.
Heck, I don't have healthcare.
What the
See
hell?
what I
My
mean?
camera's like turning off and on. What the hell? Okay, I excuse the random camera turning off and on. It's not working for me for some odd reason.
It doesn't like you.
Right now, and it's like turning off and on. It's like pissing me off. Like I'm the one doing it, and I'm getting mad.
I'm gonna try to turn mine on here. Just a second.
Ah. Oh, you get a nice picture of my unplugged speakers. Enjoy that one, folks. Who was supposed to talk next?
Okay, go ahead, Dave, and describe a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I have two usernames at the moment. First, a majority of people know me as Dave Azoth. I used to do YouTubing videos, and then I quit like a month ago, like a good month ago. You can watch that video why. But I'll explain it fine because I'm not going to go into it. But I don't really play with Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, but I still add in the group and ban people because it pleases me. I just kind of help out every so often. I'm kind of like the maintenance worker here.
I think it's working.
Yeah,
What?
I think yours is, and I'm gonna try to get mine on. Oh, it's on the wrong thing.
I was gonna say I can't see you guys.
Got french fries.
Look at Cyber sitting like a slouch.
What the hell? Wait, hang on. I can't see anybody's. Like, is this a me thing? Like, is it my things being retarded?
Well, we're certainly not on
It
Wii
might
U,
be.
so it
You
can't
have
be a me
to
thing.
probably have to fix that.
Uh,
But any case, go ahead, Yakumo, and describe a little bit about yourself. And Dave just left, but he'll be back. So go ahead, Yakumo.
Okay. Well, okay. So excuse my lovable dog and the fireworks in the background. As you can see, yeah, I'm pretty sure you know what day it is today. So I am Yaku Fujikawa. I am the I guess I don't know. Can I consider myself second in command in this whole operation thing?
I guess.
I guess. Let's just say that. Let's just say I'm just like second here. I am I guess you can say the artist of the group, and I'm also the Mexican slave labor here.
Mexican slave labor.
Because you have no idea how many projects Cyber puts me up to.
I'm clicking all the different apps and stuff.
Stop it.
I can't help
But but yeah. So I also do some bit of maintenance on the group. I post random pictures, and I am the group's Miku fanatic. So that's about it.
Well, you need to describe your mantra of what you live by.
What he lives by?
What I live by, Miku is love, Miku is life. What more do you need?
Wrong answer. It's cyber is love, cyber is life.
No.
You give me no love and no life. I don't want to.
I don't want this. I don't want to imagine that. I saw what Shrek does. I don't want to know what Cyber's gonna do.
I'm clicking all the buttons over here.
Oh god, this whole call's been like going out of control because now I can't see if the viewer rate has gone up or gone down.
My camera quality's not too great.
My camera.
Okay. Alright, but any case, as for me, I have been recently added as an admin. I pretty much review over the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, which I've been pretty much hosting this entire conversation, and of course looking over the questions and other things as well. We're going to try to get some content going up on the YouTube channel very soon. We'll have like a little announcement about that. But I pretty much help organize special events going on in here. And I also, in my spare time, I am a video game store owner. I sell retro to current generation PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox One. And I pretty much am a video game collector. Probably my biggest collection piece is around 400 plus NES titles. and it's pretty much something I do in my spare time, other than pretty much making sure that the Facebook page is in check. And
Actually, I have a quick question about your store and stuff.
Okay.
So you sell new next gen games, right? As well as retro.
Mm-hmm.
So you get your hands on the new stuff.
From a distributor, we got, I can't remember if it's like Southern Cal Electronics or whatever the name is, but we do try to get some new stuff in, but we don't get too many titles in, because, you know, GameStop is what a lot of people around here go to for that.
So I guess out of a question, if I can place a pre-order with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody can at least place a pre-order, depending on what the title is.
Project EBF second.
Oh, give me a break.
I'll have to look into that, because I'm not sure if they supply import stuff.
Actually, it's coming to the West.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I can actually take a look and see. Oh, crap.
Oh God, that flash! Oh my God. Mis ojos bonitos. Oh God.
I don't even know what I
no.
just did, because I tried to get this stupid capture thing on. Okay, there we go. Now I can see the stupid viewers.
Look at that.
I don't know. I don't
My sapphire eyes are ruined.
I'm sorry, it's like flops in this call right now. Any case, we're going to go ahead and move on to the discussions for the evening. The biggest news that came out this week, or a couple of days ago, or however long ago at least,
You mean Quantum Cat?
is of course the official ban list was released. And one of the biggest news to come out of it is the fact that Goyo Guardian and Formula Synchron have been changed. Formula Synchron now up to 2, and Goyo Guardian coming off the ban list, which is a really big thing.
I think it's pretty redundant at this point.
I wouldn't really say it's a bad thing, because synchros have come to the point where it's like there's not really many people playing them. There are some, but it's like the amount of decks rely heavily on Xseed summoning rather than synchro. But again, there are some decks that use it. I know the fact that maybe Quasar's gonna probably run it in the extra deck for them, and then the Synchron builds, they're probably gonna play those too. But again, it's just Xseeds, they're being played a lot more heavily than there are just synchros at the moment. But I don't know, that's just only on my end, at least. I don't know about you
Bring
guys.
back Dragon Ravine. That's all. That's all we need.
Shut up, Cyber.
It needs
Well,
I limit my nigga Dragon Ravine.
well, here's the thing about Dragon's Ravine. If they were to do that, then they would have to ban the E-Dragons, because that's what made those things so broken
Actually,
in the first place.
let me stop you right there. Because now that Shadalls are going to be in the picture, E-Dragons are going to be very meaningless. I mean, just a mid-rash locks down the entire thing.
Well, unless, what is it, like somebody sides in, was it, not Effect Veilers, but, wait a minute, can Skill Drain stop Shadalls?
I believe, yes,
Yeah, again.
it can, I think so.
Wait,
Okay, good.
most of them actually in the grave, don't they?
The fusion, the main fusion actually does stay on the field for its effects, so I don't particularly know if it's like grave. Actually, no, there's some stuff in the grave that do use Force Shadalls, but I'm not really sure if it's like
And not to
all.
mention, one of their bigger cards is a trap monster.
Right.
So, I don't know.
It just does depend like how the meta's going to be once Shadalls are officially out. Is it going to be Duelist Advent, or is it the next set?
It's still as Advent where Shadalls come in.
Or whatever they're going to be calling it. There's not a 100% confirmation, because I haven't even gotten any confirmation from Konami saying what the actual pack is, but I'll have to look on the website later. And speaking of which, Konami they're having the worst time updating their, like, what is it, their little shipping thing, because they were saying, like, oh, we're trying to update it, and we just moved everything over to a new server, so we apologize for the inconvenience. And it's like, well, I need info for Astro Pack 5, or, heck, I need to order more Legacy of the Valiant.
Sorry, bro.
I'm back, I think.
No, you've been there.
Oh, well, for a second my internet crashed. I had to turn it back on, so.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, do you guys, like, I mean, what is your opinion about, like, the ban list? Like, what do y'all have to say?
So, it's one of those ban lists that, like, it doesn't do a lot, yeah, that, like, gets people angry. I mean, the big thing, like, nobody cares about 2 Formula. It's not really gonna do anything. Even if Formula was at, like, 3, it's just not. It's a free draw, but, like, there's no need to get out more than 1 or to have more than 1, because every single deck that uses it, which is like 1. So, like, the only 2 decks I can ever see using it are, like, TGs, which is something that I do. I don't even know if anybody else bothers to do it, and Quick Draw Quasar, which only runs 1, and it runs Dichotomy, which can just recycle it. And a lot of Quick Draw or Junk Doppel players can agree with me about this, but the extra deck space is really tight. Like, you need a lot of things. You need, the Librarian, you need the Quasar, obviously. I personally think you need the Shooting Star because it's a great backup, because Quasar is really easy to get around nowadays. All that crap you kind of do need, and so I wouldn't even put in 2 to begin with. It's not worth, the free draw. Unless someone has, like, the perfect opportunity to get out, to do, like, the Librarian formula thing twice. I don't know why I'm doing this, doesn't really mean much. To do the whole thing twice. But even then, it's kind of like, what am I going to do with the second one, Like Black Rose? It's not really going to work for me. But, where was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought. I think the only big thing is, like, Goyo coming back. And even then, same thing with, like I said, with Quasar, it's like,
The
Most
main thing
players are
people
gonna
are forgetting
get
is
around
the
it.
second Rhoda.
Huh?
The
Second
main
row,
thing
that,
people forget
I
is
forgot
the
about
second Rhoda.
that. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't talk too much about it, and I think it's
This
going to
podcast
help
is
out.
brought to you by McDonald's. Thank you, Cyber.
We already made that joke. Shut up.
Anyways, well, what I was about to say was that I do think that the second Rhoda is actually going to help out, like, a lot of different warrior builds. Like, I know that it's extra search power for Noble Knights, and I do love the deck's concept because there's just a lot of awesome stuff in there, and I've got, like, 2 friends of mine that do play it or at the shop for locals, and it's just a very awesome deck, but unfortunately it doesn't have too much, like, search power for it, so it is going to help it out, but unfortunately, like, aside from Noble Knights, there aren't really any other decks aside from, what was it, Six Sands and E-Heroes?
Yeah, here, got the new stuff.
Evil Swarms might be able to squeeze in another one for that caster consistency.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's very iffy, though.
Pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, they already need as much space for the pandemics and then some of the other stuff to protect the Orthro or Ouroboros or whatever the hell its name is.
Ophion?
Opio. I keep getting O's mixed up, and I'm thinking it's
Close enough. It's infected and it's an ice cream monster.
Evil O's.
Evil O's. That needs to be a cereal now. But what else? Did they post anything else on the ban list? Because my memory is, like, really bad right now.
That is literally all that matters. Magician of Faith was like 2, I think, and that's like who runs it now?
It's another Tsukiyomi. It'll go to 3 next list, probably.
Yep, and then the no fucks will be given.
Yeah, like no fucking weekend. Like nobody.
Because
One, it made me laugh because everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna be a staple now. I can run it in whatever." And it's like,
I think.
Spellbook.
Well, the biggest thing that it makes it to where the main reason why it's at 2 is probably because of the fact that empty jar is not a problem anymore. because the jars are eliminated, and there's really like no reason to be able to use them right now unless there's like maybe some very oddball flip build that someone puts together for Worlds, and then everybody's going to be on the bandwagon again.
Like Cyber just said, like the only deck that could even like benefit like slightly off of Magician of Faith is Spellbooks. I read Spellbooks for months. Every time I tried Magician of Faith, it's a miserable card. It's easy to run over. People can get around it in 1,000 different ways. If that thing gets Veilered, I will cry. I will cry if that thing gets Veilered. And it was awful. I just hated it. It's like the deck recycles so much anyway that like it's just like not worth putting in.
And you got to remember too with this list. I mean, it's going to be around for what 2 months and a half or so.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the reason too. It's not going to be any big changes. I mean, Soul Charge and nothing's going to get hit on. Was going to get hit on this one because of that. The next list is when we'll probably see Soul Charge get hit, maybe some Light Swarms and stuff, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, are you guys actually surprised by others that Soul Charge was not limited to one? Because it's been probably one of the most played like spell cards in a very long time.
But it falls under the category of like you know it just came out. Konami would really not make as much profit, considering that this kind of also means that Dragons of Legend might kind of be like what Number Hunters was, that they bundled the packs in tins. You know, just to try to get it sell as many of those. So if that's their plan, then limiting or semi Soul Charge might have not been the best idea. Just kind of my reasoning for this.
It's not going to be in the tins. I don't think. I believe it's mega packs now in tins.
Yeah, another thing that it's just the pack hasn't been out for too long, and still there are people trying to still buy the packs. Because I remember when I was trying to request a case of Dragons of Legend, and it's been sold out for like the past few months now, and even still trying to order them is like a haggle because I was only able to get Legacy of the Valiant packs into the shop. So it's just, there's still a lot of people like requesting it, and I think once that it's died down, that Konami may eventually just start to either semi-limit or just limit the card altogether.
Someone just gave my fan a shout out, by the way. Like my fan behind me.
Your biggest fan.
Hi, fan.
Biggest fan of them all.
No, I'm not looking at the fan. I'm actually looking at your mechs that you actually have right next to the fan.
Oh yeah, hang on. Move this out of the way.
Oh, we're showing off. Oh, let me show you my Miku mans.
Nobody wants to see Miku.
Oh god, I broke my fan. I remember me my
You just broke your biggest fan.
I broke my lamp.
Biggest fan of the entire DRTcast episode.
Oh jeez.
So everyone now sees how he treats his fans. But
My lamp. What happened to this?
Yeah, I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep this part of the audio in there when I go to edit this later on.
I have a lot of editing to do.
The fan.
I'm a little bit busy.
Oh Jesus.
Alright, so while he's trying to fix that problem, if you guys have not submitted your episodes yet for the podcast recording, just go ahead and email those to us right now, because we have so far about 4 questions lined up for the Q&A, so get those questions in, and we will read them off right before the recordings end.
No questions from Ika.
What neck were you looking at?
That's the problem, because half of them are Ika.
Well, don't. I can only guess what
very
they are.
short Q&A.
Because the thing is, like, he has them all lined up for you, Cyber.
I know what kind of questions they are. I ain't answered anything of this.
Because the newest one is actually pretty funny.
Oh God, no.
Is it why he's such a bitch? I want to know that.
No, I'll get to that when we get to the
Shots
Q.
fired.
But
Shots fired.
let's see. What else? Pendulums. The next discussion is about them because early on, when pendulums were announced, that a lot of people flipped out about them, and there was just, so many like rage quit moments where people thought that the cards were so broken that they needed to be extinct or just banned altogether. Um, this is a topic that I wanted to get into for a while now because I find it funny that it happens with every new type of monster that comes out, whether it be, how it was with Synchros, where people were going to leave, and then there was, the whole thing with Xyz, where it's like, oh, that's too broken, they need to, get the hell out, or whatever. and now, and now it's the same thing with pendulums. And I don't think pendulums are that big of a threat yet. I mean, yes, the only reason why they're even viable and able to be used is the fact that, what is it, the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, or whatever the main card is for the Duel's Advent Pack is. But the only reason why they're even able to be used right now, and I cannot think with macro noise from
You're
you
gotta mute yourself when you're not talking, man.
Yeah.
There we go.
There
Okay,
we
now
go.
I can think. Because I was like slurring my words because of the background. But anyways, the whole thing with pendulums, it's a concept that can be broken, but the problem is there really isn't any cards aside from Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, or whatever the name of that card is. And that's
Yeah, you got it right. It's Odd Eyes Pendulum.
Yeah, it's just only one card right now, and that alone is a rota for pendulums. So the other two that everybody's splashing in the deck, those, they don't really have effects that are considered OP. They consider them OP because of their pendulum scale, which is like 1 through 8, and there's really no reason to think that it's the most broken thing that you need to just give up on Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, something broken is that if the next monster thing was like, if you summoned it once, then you win the game.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there's really no excuse for it, though.
Here's the thing about pendulums.
This is the one.
I think,
Huh?
in all honesty, I think pendulums are the weakest form of cards that we've had so far. I think synchros, Xyz, or even fusions are stronger.
They're just not anything like. They're just. How do I explain? They are like a push, because if you fail to pendulum summon, like if they get bottomless, torrentialed, if you screw up in some way, shape, or form, that's it. You have no hand.
Well, the main weakness with them, I think actually Xyz are the strongest, and if anything would, destroy the game, it would have been Xyz, because Xyz can work with any deck that's out there. Pendulums, at the moment, I mean, things could change still. I mean, it's relatively new. But they only can be in certain decks out there. You can't just like throw them into E-Dragons right now. Just a bunch of, so on and so forth. Shadals, all that kind of stuff. They're not using them, and they're winning over there in the OCG because there's no need for it. Xyz summoning is actually the strongest form of summoning right now, along with synchros and even, like I said, fusions are actually strong in pendulums. Pendulum has a scary idea of summoning because you're able to swarm the field pretty quickly. But in all honesty, to get everything to set up and get everything going and not being able to work with every deck, they're not.
You're
really
also wasting the hand space on the pendulums themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and if you want to like sit, and like, of course you can retaliate by saying like, oh, well, I'm just going to sit them there, and I'll build a hand. But what happens if they MST it, or they pop it with any other effects, and you're fucked. It's going to sit there and
Something will have to change on them before they get stronger. At the current time, they're not very strong yet. I mean, maybe if there's an archetype that's a little bit built around them a little bit more, like we're starting to kind of see now, that can change things. But at the moment, I mean, they're not like I said, they're just basically not like Xyz or Synchros, two types of cards that we've had that can actually fit into most different decks out there, especially Xyz. I mean, Xyz work with everything, that's out there. It could be the strongest archetype to the weakest, and it can still work with them. So, and just pendulums don't fit that mold.
Yeah, it's funny that you brought that up about there possibly being an archetype that does deal with like strictly all pendulums, because I'm trying to remember back. It was a couple of weeks ago or some time ago that when Asian Eyes White Dragon uploaded his video showcasing this, it was this deck that was like majority of them were all pendulums, and it just allowed for multiples of this like archetype to be spammed out. And that's just one deck, but even still, it seemed like it was somewhat inconsistent at parts. But other than that, it's a start, but again, it's nothing too serious to the point where it's so broken that you need to just, like, get into a different hobby.
The way I see it, and like I really hate that I'm actually quoting Drew here, is that he said something that kind of, like, I just say stuck with me. Is like, okay, everybody's complaining about pendulums and they're all so broken, but in reality they're really not. Like, just like Cyber said, like, they're you just can't slap them into anything. Like, why? Like, I just can't take Stargazer and Time Gazer and slap them into Madolches. Why would I do that? I have Palooza. That's basically a 1-card pendulum summon. So the thing, though, is right now, the way pendulums are, in a way, is almost, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, pathetic. They really don't have a whole lot of things going for them. And if we're scared right now of what they are right now, imagine when they actually, further down the line, they make an actual consistently broken deck that relies on pendulum summoning. That actually does this all well and everything. That everything's worked out. It goes into, like, all this broken madness. Because it is going to be a deck like that. There was always a deck like that. From the original to GX to 5Ds, in Zeal, there's always going to be one deck that basically just splits the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really good example of this. And everybody's going to hate me for this because Yu-Gi-Oh players hate Magic players like the freaking plague, or avoid them like the plague. But Yu-Gi-Oh, not a lot of new things come out for it that often. And we have such a long time to get used to this norm, and I started playing when Stickers was a big thing, and when XYZs came out, I was like, oh, okay, something new. I really wasn't, I was still too new to the game to really understand the premise of oh, hey, it's been a while since we had something new. But when Pendulums came out, it's just funny to see how, because we're so we're not used to having something that new happen, that everybody immediately just freaks out. We don't know, they don't know what to do, so they resort to just getting angry and freaking out. And Magic, since I've played Magic, I've noticed they make new mechanics a lot. They make a lot of new mechanics, and they've gotten so used to it that when a new mechanic comes out, it's looked at completely differently. And then people are like, oh, okay, cool, that can go really well with my deck, instead of being like, oh my god, this is so broken, they all suck, I'm quitting this game and going to play something else, and blah, 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 blah. And it just seems I don't know, it seems like a very unstable way to introduce a new mechanic into the game.
It's interesting that you brought up Magic, that I always consider pendulums in a way to be more like how it is in Magic term, planeswalkers, because they do seem like a spell, but at the same time they're a monster.
No, planeswalkers are supposed to represent another player.
Because it's been a while since I played Magic, but it's just, I always thought that that's what, planeswalkers were. Because I've got, in my mono green elf build, I've got one of the original Garoks, and I always thought that pendulums kind of were like that, but without the whole spam summon thingy.
It kind of, yes, in an essence, yes. Planeswalkers are meant to represent another player, that you have summoned another player to help you. They have their own life, which is their loyalty. When the loyalty goes, whenever that's drained, they all die. Every Planeswalker will have 3 abilities. They all have a plus however much, a plus however much is lower than the first one, and then a minus. And each ability will do something. So, for example, I'm trying to think of a really good example here. They have an alt, is what I'm getting at. They have 2 abilities that really slowly raise their loyalty, and then they have an alt, which is drains a huge amount of their loyalty, and it does something almost game-breaking. For example, there's one called Jace, the Architect of Thought. I think it's that one that does that, at least. And if its alt is, if you get it off, you take any two cards, one from your opponent's deck and one from your deck, and you play them without having a cost. You just play whatever you want from your deck and your opponent's deck. There's one that it's one of my favorites, and I can't remember his name. He's an artifact, and if you get his alt off, you restart the entire game. You just restart. It makes the game really fun because it does something that wouldn't normally happen with a normal card. Some of them, I'm trying to think of a really good example of what some of them do. Some of them are kind of a little more mellowed out. There's one that I think you discard your hand, you draw 7 cards, and then your opponent mills 7 cards off the top of their deck. Like some of them were kind of like iffy, but oh my god, like that is one of the best parts of the game. Like, I mean, comparing them to pendulums, yeah, they do kind of like sit in the field as like a separate like entity, but pendulums are still like monsters. They still serve as like a monster and a spell, while planeswalkers are completely different. If your opponent attacks you, they have to choose whether to deal damage to you or your planeswalker. So it's almost like a distraction, like a shield almost, if you want to say that.
Right.
They have to think like, oh my god, like I have the choice of either getting my opponent to lower health or letting that thing get its ult off, which is you don't want that to happen. So they kind of do, I mean, I guess you can kind of compare them together.
Okay. Well, I guess we can move on to the next quick topic before we do get in Q&A, which again, guys, you can post your questions over onto the official Gmail account, which is duelistoftheroundtable@gmail.com. Just put in your username and, of course, your question, and we will read it on the air. The other one is probably a really big news, which everybody was anticipating this for a very long time now. The reprint of Quasar.
Yay!
And a lot of people were thinking it was going to be in the last Mega 10, which it didn't. And people were thinking it was going to be this fall. And it probably still won't. But this was about probably the only thing that people cared about in the new Legendary Collection. And it's going to be the main reason why people buy it in the first place. And we don't even know what all is going to be in the packs. So,
Guardian.
possibly Goyo Guardian, because now that it's off the ban list, that we're probably going to be able to see it in, like,
Sell them while you can.
And do what?
Sell them while you can.
Yeah, I wish I still had my Goyo Guardian, but when I was like first opening up my video game shop, that I had to sell off a bunch of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I had like gotten $400 from them all to a reseller, and I really hate the fact that I had to sell it, but eventually I'll get another one, but now it's probably going to be pretty expensive to get.
Like I said, it'll probably be reprinted, so you can just get one now. See, they're not too high right now. Even
Like,
now.
what are they up to
30s
right
and the
now?
40s.
I'm around the 20s.
Okay, so it's not that bad yet.
Yeah, for like the secrets, but if you go into like the ultras or the LTs, you're talking 30, 40s.
Yeah, but I mean, I doubt most people care about the rarities, or I don't know if you guys do. I don't really care on rarity too much.
Yeah, I remember
those rarity whores.
I actually do remember.
That's it.
Yeah, I do actually remember, like, back when, what was it, when the 10 was being printed off, that, yeah, I can see those. I just remember that when we were pulling out so many of those 10s, that it was just so many people around my area were requesting the secrets because they thought those things were, like, short print, but, I still remember just like getting rid of those like way too quick and just being able to still hold on to one, and even right after getting another one that people were just looking for that for trade bait and whatever else. But yeah, I think that the Quasar thing is just the one major reason why people are going to buy that collection in the first place, and rather than just like getting it for any other cards.
I want the 2 Nordic cards that are supposed to be in it that are brand new.
If they make Hollow Fortune Ladies, I'm all over that shit.
I guess it's
I like
possible.
it. Goyo Guardian coming back almost makes you want to play again.
Well, I mean, you've got some extras, so maybe you could try to like pawn one of them off over in our direction.
Well, one of them is Yakumo's, but the other one, my damaged one, I'm probably gonna keep. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. How about we'll make a little segment of reasons why I should start playing or something. I'm doing 50-50.
We'll have to report that on the next Q&A thing.
Yeah.
But any case, I think that's all.
Actually,
go ahead.
before anything, I do want to know what you guys think. If considering the 5Ds era, it had quite a few cards that we kind of wish or didn't that to have been printed. What do you guys think would actually get printed that would be new from the 5Ds era?
Time Lords, like the other Time Lords.
Give me my Gear Zombie!
Hey, excuse me, do you have a minute to talk about our Lord Savior TG Gear Zombie?
Watch them be like, oh, the new TG stuff's gonna come out from the anime, and it's gonna be like Drillfish. Give me Drillfish.
Actually, one.
I'm gonna get so excited because new TG stuff, like the rest of the TG support will come out, and it's gonna be freaking Drillfish. I'm gonna get Drillfish, the crappy one. A level 1 tuner that can like attack directly for like 400 attack or something stupid like that.
Actually, one card that I kind of wish that was. I'm kind of glad it didn't get printed back then, but I kind of would like to see it right now. Would be Gatling Ogre.
No.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That card, I was scared. It's like, oh my god, if this card gets printed, it's gonna be like fucking hell.
It will be hell.
Not the Fortune Ladies like the older versions, but like
the Fortune Fairies.
Oh, the
I
Fortune.
want those printed.
Yes, I would run that. Like run 3 skill drains.
Mm-hmm.
3 skill drains,
Make them
like Forbidden
I want
Talent.
those cards.
I would love those. I would run that. I would like so main that if Fortune Fairies were actually printed.
Actually, there is one card that I can think of from the series, which I was surprised they didn't print off. It's who's that female biker duelist from France that ran that field spell?
Sherry?
Yes, she ran that field spell where it was like, they were attacking themselves.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember.
What was it?
I don't remember the name. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the giant one where they were like walking around like on the
Ceiling and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Elcon or Elcum something zone. It begins with E. That's all I remember.
I kind of want to see. I think Cyber said the Time Lords would be neat, but they're really broken. Like they'd have to be free.
A little
It
better.
would have to be like so nerfed. It would have to be like league nerfed.
Those are really
Or something on the lines of like Wing Dragon and Raw nerfed.
Yeah.
I mean, most of all, I just want Gear Zombie to be printed. I would be really happy if Gear Zombie would be printed. If one thing would make me like want to start playing again, like set aside like all hobbies to start playing again, that would be it. Give me Gear Zombie and I'll be happy.
Meanwhile, at Konami headquarters, hey guys, we heard about this Gear Zombie. Let's not print it.
Let's print Drillfish instead. He's better.
But we need to give him something in the TG area. Yeah, we have Drillfish. Let's just give him Drillfish. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. The kids will eat that shit up.
Don't worry. They won't talk about that. They're too busy printing new Dragonities, right? I hope so.
Actually, wasn't there a rumor that there was going to be like a new Dragoonity, like synchro?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's one of the exclusives in Duelist Alliance, I think.
It's like, what?
It's
Like,
one of the guys that's leaked some info before, so I don't know. Natrias are getting support now. Constellars kind of have, a lot of these hidden archetypes. Dragonities could possibly get something.
but
That's-
like without
that's
Ravine, that's
surprising, though.
pointless. We want Ravine.
Give us a better Ravine. Give us another one that only works with Dragonities or something. I don't know.
Well,
Actually, technically the first one kind of only worked with Dragoonities. It just had that second effect.
if
Give
they're
us a
gonna
new
be
version.
bringing back, if they're gonna bring back Ravine, then they're gonna need to have to get rid of the E-Dragons.
All you have to do is print a new version of Dragon Ravine, have a little thing on the bottom that says can't use with E-Dragons. Or Dragon Rulers.
Oh no, or just better yet, just ban the E-Dragons and unban the babies. You guys want dragons? Take the babies.
Get these dragons.
Hey, does anybody want this baby?
Would anyone like this baby?
You can use it for your coasters and your drink.
And that's funny because I actually did that. I used a baby dragon as a coaster. It was glorious. I stacked like all 4 of them. Just put my drink in there. Like you will soak up like Pepsi. You
I wish
will
they
like
were for
it.
me.
Okay, so I guess that's it for discussions. Unless you guys want to talk about a different topic.
What do you guys think will be in the Mega Tin? Supposedly, Legacy of the Valiant and all those, I guess the last 5 packs are supposed to get reprints into the Mega Tins. What do you think will be in it? For one, I for one think Exciton Knight and Dragon Sack will be in it.
That's very tough.
I mean, probably what's going to happen is probably going to start giving us all those OCG imports that we never got starting from Legacy of the Valiant, like that Chronomaly, that Galaxy support.
Yes, please on Nebra-Disc. I want Nebra-Disc so bad.
No, that will break artifacts. I don't know why.
It's just a broken searcher, nothing big.
Just.
Meanwhile, America's happening in the background.
Dang right.
Yes, 4th of July. We said that at the beginning.
That's the best time to choose to do a podcast. Yeah.
Oh.
Professionals.
America.
Anyways, what were you saying, David?
I don't want to answer the easy questions.
Okay.
Questions that aren't from Ika.
Alright, going into the Q&A again, you guys can send your questions over at duelistoftheroundtable@gmail.com. Just supply your username and, of course, your question, and we will read it over the air. So...
Bakugan in my cupboard for some reason.
And this is the DRT podcast.
Or DRTcast, as we like to call it. Okay, this one's from Mike N. He didn't put a username in. He says, "Hello guys, I want your opinion on a card that I personally should think needs to be limited or semi-limited. Graf Dragon Lord of Dark World. What do you guys think of this card?"
No. Can I?
I don't think it should. I personally just don't think Dark Worlds are really as much of a threat as anything.
Can I rant about that, Kevin? Can I please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dark Worlds are not good. They are a one-trick pony that people can't seem to get around. Round 2 and 3, you can side against them. There are 1,000,001 cards you can side against them that will render them completely useless. Like, and isn't like this meta like really big on like naming skill drain right now? Like, I feel like it's like 90% of the decks like run skill drain now, or at least side it. Doesn't that? Oh no, never mind. They do that themselves. Anyway, they're not good. They have one gimmick, and that is Grapha. That is literally all they have.
Also, I think you meant Soul Drain, not skill.
Soul Drain, yeah. I think it's Soul Drain.
Yeah, wrong drain.
Soul Drain and Vanity's Emptiness. Like, that's mained in a lot of decks now. I mained it in Geargias when I played. And like that's like a staple now. If you have a and this is a really annoying part too, because everybody I've ever seen like really complain about Dark Worlds. Like, yeah, they're autopilot, they're a one-trick pony, and they do pretty decent. But like, have they topped at all in the past? Like,
I never have. I don't think.
Like, how many times
did they even top back in the GX era?
Well, no, they actually did top maybe one time, but that was like a YCS a long time ago.
Yeah, like they don't top anything substantial. They have one good card, and that is Grapha, and that is it. Like, getting rid of Grapha, yeah, it would kill the deck, but like it's not needed because everybody I've ever seen complain about losing to the deck is that person that either doesn't have a proper main deck, didn't run a proper had something like really. What's the word I'm looking for? A deck that isn't like meta.
Anti-meta.
No, not anti-meta. Rogue deck has like some really like bad rogue deck, like like Laval. What's that Laval deck that I saw a while ago?
Laval Quasar.
What are those level 5 and up fire cards that are XYZ based?
Fire Kings?
I can't remember.
Yeah, like running like awful like Hazy Flame.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, Hazy Flames. I forgot about those.
Like, what's meta right now? Bujins are, to my knowledge, still meta.
Metal Chaser kinda still up there.
What are?
Metal Chaser kinda still up there.
Like, they're just not that great. Like, it's just, and not to mention, if they win round 1, they're not going to win round 2 and 3. Like, if you like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, Vanity's Emptiness, Soul Drain, 3rd MST maybe. I don't know if that's still not the people are starting to MST or not, but it's just not a good deck. It just does one thing. Ugh, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
still meta in my heart.
Huh?
Well, the other card that you did actually forget to mention was Gateway of the Dark World. That's one of the
Yeah,
other
that's
big
a good
cards for
card.
it.
But like, a lot of decks are running field spells now. Like a really big portion of like decks are running field spells, and like Medolce for example. That's meta. Um, like it's Battle of the Field spell. Oh, and I can have two of them, I guess. So
Yeah,
I can
because
Built
that's
spells
one
like
of the big rule changes now.
yeah, I forgot about that. You know what? Forget all that. Forget what I said before that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it gets me so angry because like I used to do this too. But, like I hate the people that don't like that. You know that person that tries to play meta, but they try to play meta with decks that are really bad. So instead of being like, oh, I lost that tournament because I did not run a very great deck. I ran what's it? I ran Dark Scorpions. I lost because I ran Dark Scorpions. That's
I
on
like
me.
Dark Scorpions.
That's on me. But instead of saying that, they come up with like, oh, all this meta's crap. They're a bunch of no skill losers, and this game is crappy because those no skill losers are running these meta decks. Those are the same people that I see complain about Dark Worlds, and I hate that.
Actually, let me take over from here. A good example of this is I went to a locals, to a tournament of locals that I've had not gone in a while because I mean I'm not really one to play competitively, I guess, as much. I really don't see like the whole appeal to to be playing like all these competitive. But I tried it, so I went to my locals playing my Medolces, um, and I lost to Ghost Tricks because I forgot to side in. I forgot my Imperial Iron Walls, and that was a horrible mistake on my part. But this story folds two ways because first off, I could have easily just gone like, oh, oh, you just lost, you just won because I didn't have my Imperial Iron Walls and shit like that. The funny thing about this though is that the guy I played is the one who got salty on me because I beat him the first round doing the whole Medolce loop. It was like, oh, your deck is just a one-trick pony. It's like, what you gonna do now? Jesus Christ, dude, just calm the fuck down.
Like if I did this too. I think that's part of the reason why I get so mad at those people is because like I feel stupid for being that person. And yeah, that's really recent that I was that person too. I think before I got a job, I was exactly like that. And it just gets me mad because like now like there's no such thing as like a scrub deck. If it's good, so they're gonna use it. That's how everything works. I'm not gonna like go to work and say like, oh, that guy had a really nice pair of shoes, so so his feet felt better while he was working today. No, he's just a scrub. He's just trying to make his day better because he's a scrub. No, if it freaking works and if it freaking makes your life easier, you're gonna use it. And not to mention, people always say like these decks are no skill. Yeah, if Medolces are kind of in between in my opinion. If what's like top tier right now? Like what's like the best top tier deck right now?
Lightsworn Rulers.
Lights and Rose.
Rulers. Whatever you want to call them.
Go up against. I'm still trying to think of a Gladiator Beasts. Yeah, the favor is certainly in Lightsworn Rulers. It's definitely more likely Lightsworn Rulers are going to win. But thus they're not going to have to put a lot of skill and a lot of effort into winning against that deck. Not saying that the Gladiator Beasts won't have a shot. I'm just saying, there's less of a chance that Lightsworn Rulers are going to lose. But if Lightsworn Rulers are versing Bujins, a lot of side options go out the window, things like that, then yes, now they are going to actually have to put in skill and effort into winning because they are both on the same tier level, tier level. And I hate that. People don't seem to understand that.
We're kind of going off on a tangent,
Same thing
though.
with, the same thing, like, let's go back to Gladiator Beasts. If Gladiator Beasts are facing, like, a Kiran Pickaroo deck, yeah, it's not going to take a lot of effort for them to win, But if it's Gladiators versus Gladiators, they're going to actually have to put in, like, skill to win.
So basically what you're saying, if it's not Dragonides, it's awful.
Yes.
There you go. That's the quote for today.
Okay.
Basically,
Also,
the card's good, but the art tap evidently hasn't done too well, so more likely won't get hit on any ban list. Is my opinion on it.
Not to
Okay.
mention that last thing is not to mention that a lot of people don't really appreciate the beauty that a side deck really is, because that allows you to basically forge your deck into something that can compete against the big boys. You have cards like those mirrors. You got Soul Drains, you got Imperial Iron Walls, cards that you normally wouldn't put into your main deck originally, because what are the chances of you running into that into that person? That's kind of the beauty of a side deck, that in between games you can switch it into those cards that will allow you to have a better chance. But when people lose to these decks like Dark Worlds or like Ghost Tricks, or well, just for lack of a better thought, just their Gladiator Beast, and say, "Oh, this deck sucks." Like I bet you anything, nine out of 10 of those people never sided or never played game two. They just lost one game, and they just completely based their entire hate on that. And that's what really pisses me off.
And the big thing is like the experience you have with the deck really, really matters, because Mermails are a really great deck, but I'm not good with them because from the point that I played them to the point that I stopped, because it was the last deck that I played before I stopped, I wasn't that great with them because I didn't freaking know all the stuff they could do. I knew like the deck, and I knew like what skills are like what, and I knew like I knew the loop, like the defense loop that what's his name, Hoban did, his little loop with like the mech equipped engineer and the Bahamut shark and whatnot. But like everybody I think really like the experience of the deck like means a lot, because like TGs with me, like TGs are like my deck. Like I know everything there is to know about TGs. I know every build, every method of building them. I know everything there is to know about TGs. And I really feel like I could perform better with a TG deck than I could with like a Mermail deck, because it's the experience. And the same thing with like Dragonides. You guys have played Dragonides more than anything. You guys would have probably would feel more at home and thus be able to perform better with Dragonides than you would with Madolche's and Yakumo's case.
Dragoonity OP.
I mean, Dragonides, I agree, because Dragonides is a deck that I built, like from scratch. Same thing with Mendolces. I also built those from scratch. So I kind of feel the same way about both. But Dragonides were always kind of like a deck, that I could identify with.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's true. It's really not about like what deck you play. For example, recently I just got my hands, like my friend just helped me put together a Lightthorn deck for shits and giggles, and it's like, and as I was play testing and everything, I was like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I can't do all this stuff. I don't know how people could consider this autopilot, because I'm seriously fucking up here. But it's the fact that you build it with care, that you build it with meaning. You put the deck card by card, until you get that 40 card deck that you built and you understand completely, because you put together, not because you got it off a list and you just put it together based on whatever somebody else told you. That deck might work for them, but it might not work for you. Big example, Sever. Do you remember when that guy from Mexico won a YCS with a 6-hand deck, and we actually tried it out?
Mm-hmm. Oh god.
And then because he was talking about how he played his friend, it was wind-ups and all that stuff, and he ended up winning. And then you and I built the deck, and we had no idea how this dude even won in the first place. Same concept. That's the same idea, and that's kind of the thing about Dark Worlds too.
Dark Worlds, I mean, this goes for a lot of decks, but like Dark Worlds just have the same, they do the same thing over and over again. But even then, there was a Dark World deck that I saw, and it was really neat. It had like that Dark Creator card, that 2000 special summoner. Like if you have like 5 or more Darks in your grave, you can special summon him or something like that. No, nobody knows what I'm talking about.
It's been a while since I've seen anybody around here play Dark Worlds, but after you get done with your part, we need to move on to some other questions.
I'll say this one question's taking us forever, huh?
Yeah, well, we'll move on. I was kind of ranting about random stuff after that point, but yeah. Anyway, no, graphics should not be bad. That answers your question.
Simply put, at least. Okay. Let's see. Moving away from Ika's little messages. Okay.
I'm not answering any of them.
I'll get to one of them that's actually considered PG for the event, but
I bet it's not
this one is from Matt Shard Pointing, or whatever the last part is, but Matt Shard. He writes, do you have any advice for people who want to run a Blue Eyes Galaxy Eyes deck?
Heh.
It's
Yeah, build one or the other, I would say.
Yeah, I'm about to say they have no synergy. Besides the fact that like they're both dragons, they have little to no synergy. They are both level 8 dragons with 3,000 attack and 25 defense. That is it. They have no synergy. They have nothing to do with each other. They don't even have similar play styles. There's no like build one or the other.
yeah, there's
It can work, but you're better off going separate, especially if you want to go Galaxy Eyes. Yeah, you're better off going separate on that because you'll be a lot stronger if you go with, of course, Galaxy Knight and use the newer cards too that we've had recently. Even though we're still missing a few, unfortunately, you're still better off going, or going with Blue Eyes with a lot of the structure deck cards they got recently.
I think
it's better to separate them for now.
yeah, that Foolish Burial for Dragons, I think, is one of the new cards. Yeah, that one. And then there's, if you're running the Galaxy build, there's Galaxy Expedition, the one where it's like special summons one.
Yeah, when you have a level 5 or higher monster on the field.
Yeah, that's the one. I just couldn't remember the exact name for it, but I do know that a lot of people that play the Galaxy Eyes builds do play that card.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it can kind of work together, but in all honesty, you're going to get better results going with one or the other.
Yeah, it just wouldn't come out right.
Okay. Let's see. Now for the big one from our local Ika, who does not usually post too much on the Facebook page. He writes, this is for Cyber.
Of course.
Why is MCall 40 better than Cyber Knight 8610?
Oh, this all dates back to the day Cyber was born, you see.
Because he has an M in his name.
You see, it all started many moons ago, before the start of the internet.
Oh, then the Fire Nation attack.
Hey, shut up. We don't talk about that.
It happened.
Yeah, then everything changed when the Cyber Knight attacked.
You see, M. Cole, he's a rather large man. And we've come to realize that he's not large because of his large consumption of fast food. It's because he's so awesome that it's like expanding his body. The awesome has nowhere to go, so it just expands his body.
But in all seriousness, M. Cole, if you are listening to this by any chance, you are a good guy. But in any case, and finally the last one is from Bunny, Mr. Bunny, or whatever it is. He asks, can I hug from you guys?
I don't know how. Through the
I
internet.
don't know. How do I?
I have some criteria for that. 1, you have to be really hard girl, and 2, you have to send me some pics. 3, your phone number. 4, we can have a hug. 5, question mark, question mark, question mark. 6, profit.
I will hug a stuffed animal for you. How does that sound?
How about a high five? There.
Or a fist,
On camera.
something like that.
It's bro fist.
Bro fish.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much it for the questions. Thanks again to everybody that submitted your questions for this week's edition of the podcast. And unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for this weekend. And
Ooh, can I stream a game? Ooh,
yeah, we're gonna pretty much stop this broadcast, but we're going to start up a new one again, just like more like an after party one.
Why don't we just keep this one up since we have the viewers, and then you can just edit out what goes on after that.
That's fine. Okay, but anyways, cutting back to the ending part. Anyways, if you have any questions you want to ask us for the next episode, just feel free to email us over at our Gmail account at duelistoftheroundtable@gmail.com, or you can go on over to the yugitube.com website where it's the official web forms for Duelists of the Round Table. You can pretty much ask us anything over there. We're trying to get more people over there to start posting other than just the Facebook page. So if you haven't done so already, sign up and pretty much join in on the conversation for Yu-Gi-Oh! Cardfight Vanguard or any other TCG that's out there, and eventually we'll get like a random little
Except for
section
buddy
going.
fight. We hate buddy fight.
That will eventually come in the later future. So
I like Buddy Fight.
that's one thing I still need to
I don't
try
like
to
it
catch up
anymore.
on. But any case, that's pretty much it for this edition of the DRTcast. Again, thank you very much to every viewer that participated, and until next time, we will see you on the flip side.
Oh, the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Bye.
And that's it for the recording. So this is basically the after party for everybody that is still with us. We've got about 10 of you right now watching, so you can still stick around and basically just send us anything that you guys want, and we can basically talk about it on the air. But for right now, it's basically whatever right now.
Penis.
I'm gonna stream
I'm gonna
again.
go play some League of Legends.